Okay, we're rolling. Now, the next grandparents I want to talk about is Homidos and Exsilda Frenette. We'll do Exsilda first. Of course, this is my grandmother, Mimi Almeyer's mother, and we're very fortunate to have any pictures of her at all. In those days, nobody took any pictures except my blessed mom. She took tons of pictures, and we got lots of them. So we don't have to go back here again. So we look at others. So that's Exilda, as I said, and this is the house that my Pippi Homidos built. And he built this. Says here, 1939. It actually says when it was built. This is a very cool house. I'll talk a lot about this probably the next video. This is Almyra, Exilda, and Janet. Janet is the youngest. She's the youngest of the four sisters Mom was raised with. Well, three sisters Mom was raised with. That's the house again. That's Exilda. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Now this is the only pictures of actually that guy. Those two people there. That's Louis and Bernadette Frenette. Talked about them in the last video. And of course, this is my dad with the high hair. And this is my mom. It's a wedding day, obviously. And this would be Exilda, and this is Homidos over here. So are we done with these pictures? Let me go back again. Sorry. This is Exilda and my mom. And this is Homidos. Homidos I'm going to talk about a lot. Exilda, not quite as much. Okay, so now you know who we're talking about. So Exilda was, before her time, she was a rare breed. Not too many women worked outside the house back in those days. Those days would be, my mom was born in 1916, so she was working kind of all through that. And so from 1916 until about, she died at 79. So anyhow, she worked in that era there, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. And she was a furrier. She would go to Zare's Furrier. It used to be on Olette Avenue, which is a bit of a walk from her Hall Avenue home. And she would go to the store/warehouse, and she would pick up the raw furs. This would be mink or beaver or sable or something like that. And she would go back to the house. She had a sewing machine that was capable of doing these kinds of things, and she would sew together fur coats for women. She'd probably go broke today because nobody wears fur, but back then it was very popular. So she would make fur coats and put them together like that. My direct memory of her is when we made something called dandelion wine. Now, my grandparents, Homidos and Exilda, they moved from the Hall Avenue house, as you saw a picture. They had a home. They bought a more modern home. This would have been maybe when I was maybe 10, 11 years old. So that would be, I was born in 48, so that would be like 58, maybe early 60s. They bought a home on Academy Drive near the Grand Mears Ditch. So their home was there, and they had a big field behind then and a big field beside it. And that field ran into the Grand Mears drainage ditch where we used to play when I was a kid, actually. So it's in that house that they were making, she was making dandelion wine and selling it as far as I know. So I remember sitting there looking at my grandmother's feet because I was little, sitting down. Her job, she had a rubber hose that she couldn't pinch. She just put her finger on it. And we were in the basement, of course. And she would fill the bottles and it was my job. I would take the bottles, bring them over to the stamper, and I would stamp on a cork. I would drive a cork into it and set the bottle aside. And I may have licked my fingers once in a while, so because this stuff was pretty good to go. So those are the two memories that I have of Exsilda. And this is real good. I forgot. I'm glad I didn't forget. Her mom was raised, but with Aunt Rose, Aunt Mabel, my aunts, of course, Elmira, of course, and Janet being the youngest, and that was the descending order of their ages. Now, Bertha, who was older than Rose, the oldest one, she passed away when she was an adult at some time. I don't know what date, but I know that the only boy, Paul, he passed away about 9 years old. So when I was 9 years old, I don't know if you saw it in the picture, but Exsilda, my grandmother, she was an amply breasted woman. She was large enough to give me a good solid hug, and I was boob high at that time, and apparently I looked much like Paul, the son that she lost many years prior, especially when I got to be 9 years old or 10 years old. And every time she saw me, like I was over hanging around the house on Academy Drive, and the first time she did this, I can remember, like she gave me this big hug. I went in there, and lost breath, and she gave me long hugs. So I would come out of there like trying to get a breath afterwards. And my dad told me, he says, "Come here, son. When she does that, you gotta turn your head. If you turn your head, you'll be able to get a breath." So after that, she'd draw me in. I go, and I'd be able to breathe for the 20 or 30 minutes that she hugged me, and then I come back out, and I was okay. So these are my memories of Exsilda. I'll keep this video short, so I want to talk about her. The next video will be Home Videos. That's going to be a two-parter because I have lots of stories about them. So God bless you guys. Hope you enjoy the videos. Bye for now.